What movie did you expect to be bad but was actually good? I thought the Lego Movie was going to be a stupid commercial, and it ended up being one of my favorite movies ever with a surprisingly deep message. Tropic Thunder, my friends dragged me to see it, such a great movie. Pirate of the Caribbean, a movie based on a Disney ride? About pirates. This is going to be so bad and a lame Disney kids cash grab. The first movie turned out to be outstanding. Dread 2012, I was surprised how good it was. Hot Tub Time Machine. The most ridiculous premise, but hilariously done. Great cast. Edge of Tomorrow for me. I have a hard time separating Cruise from all of his Scientology nonsense, and I dislike him, but I gave that movie a chance and had a great time watching it. Kubo and the Two Strings. Took the kids to the cinema on a family cheap Saturday morning showing. The films are usually dumb. This was fantastic. The plot is so-so. But the animation and storytelling is absolutely beautiful. Someone had to say it. Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish. Awesome film. Eurotrip. Thought it was going to be yet another of a million stupid teen comedies, and it was. But it was actually really funny. Cabin in the Woods. The unbearable weight of massive talent. I had low expectations and thought that Pedro would not be able to save the train wreck. He did save it, and more. Zootopia. I thought it was a cheesy movie for kids, but it had some deep morals about discrimination and some decent adult humor. A Knight's Tale. The anachronism of the Queen soundtrack combined with the young cast led me to the conclusion that this would be a sappy teenage drama set in the Middle Ages. A very talented cast with some clever writing elevated a ridiculous and tired premise. Those new Jumanji movies should be terrible. It almost angers me how much I enjoyed them, haha. Bullet Train. Didn't expect much, just another action movie, in a style of, for example, Statham movies, but it was way better. Grandma's Boy. Thought it would just a B-level Sandler entourage movie. A couple buddies and I had nothing going on, so we smoked a few joints and went into the theater with no expectations. It is quoted relentlessly to this day within my friend group. Goon. That movie totally caught me off guard with how funny it was. I saw Sean William Scott in it and thought, oh, it's Stifler, must be some dumb comedy. But it was way more than that. Genuinely hilarious and one of my favorite sports movies. How to Train Your Dragon looked like the insipid generic kids movie that was just churned out by movie studio all the time back then. Oh, it so wasn't. John Wick. Tremors. Honestly? The Matrix. When the trailer came out, me and everyone I knew thought it was going to be another Johnny Mnemonic. Same actor, same cyberpunk setting, same black clothes. The trailers were also very vague. What is The Matrix? We didn't know what to expect, but we had nothing better to do on a Friday night. Holy hit, was it an experience. So much so I went back 2 more times. Idiocracy. About time. We need more low-stakes time travel films. Serious. What are some everyday things that kill people because most don't know about it? Poor dental hygiene. Gum infections hit the brain fairly quickly and can be fatal before you even knew something was happening. Brush your teeth and talk to a dentist. Most will try to work with you on the money side if you don't have insurance. Stress is a state when your body feels threatened and produce hormone to defend yourself, which will typically boost your muscle and reduce to minimum other function, like digestion, your kidneys, and overall all organs that aren't involved in fighting off a bear. If you're always stressed, chronic stress, you will damage your organs. All of them. At once. Chronic stress is a poison. You must avoid it. Note that normal, episodic, stress like you're taking an exam today or you have 13 missed calls from mom aren't going to kill you. Well, not the stress at least. In Australia, the blue-ringed octopus. I did a biology project about these when I was in elementary school. Not reaching the speed of traffic before leaving the on-ramp. Bonus points if you're one of those people that gets scared and comes to a stop at the merge. People are not nearly careful enough driving vehicles. You are operating a 2,000 pounds bullet, please stop texting and pay attention. Mixing cleaning supplies. Cleaners are usually dangerous chemicals. Mixing certain chemicals can create dangerous gases. One of the common cleaner mistakes people make is dish soap and bleach. A lot of dish soaps have ammonia in them, and you don't want to be around the gas that ammonia and chlorine make. Also, don't clean your kitty litters with bleach. Use chlorine-free disinfectants instead. Cat pee naturally has ammonia in it and can cause a reaction too. Potatoes. They release toxic chemicals when they go bad. People have died from this. Lots of people seem interested in potato toxin lol. If you want to learn more, check out solanine, which is a type of neurotoxic alkaloid. Alkaloids are a world in and of itself. They are really interesting to learn about emo. I know of a few things, all fire related. Pinched electrical wires. Having, for example, addable leg or something on top of a wire creates a hot spot that can eventually start a fire. Toasters under cabinets. If you have a toaster on your countertop, and have cabinets mounted above that countertop, leaving the toaster directly under the cabinets while in use is also a fire hazard. Measure to pull it out from beneath the cabinets before use. Not sure if this one is still unknown by most people, but I'll add it just in case. Water does not put out a grease fire. It makes it worse because the grease oil is less dense and floats on top of the water and continues to burn, so pouring water on a grease fire is likely to just spread the grease and fire around. Baking soda. A lid, cover of some kind, or of course a fire extinguisher will smother the fire without spreading it around. Garage door springs. Also, garage doors are not as light as people think. They weigh hundreds or thousands of pounds depending on the type and size of door, and all that weight is counterbalanced by tension on those springs. If you don't know what you are doing, do not attempt to repair a garage door. Rocking the vending machine because your Kit Kat bar got stuck. Once read about someone who died when they had the flu. They were medicating with over-the-counter cold and flu medicine and drinking multiple cups of Lemsip, one after the other, not realizing Lemsip also contained painkillers. They died of an overdose, IIRC. High blood pressure. Carbon monoxide is something everyone knows about, but everyone also seems to forget about. Which actor was truly miscast in a particular role? Almost the entire cast of the Last Airbender movie. Edit. Leave me alone with that Dragon Ball movie. I'm not watching it and never will. I agree that it could have made a decent movie if it wasn't for M. N. Shyamalan as director, but IDK. I found the whole bending and the effects were actually not bad, except firebending that looked awful to me, and I also liked the soundtrack. But compared to the Nickelodeon show, it's, well, can't be compared. Mark Wahlberg as Sully in the Uncharted movie. John Wayne as Genghis Khan. Steven Seagal as an action star. A 5'6" Tom Cruise as a 6'4" muscled man in the Reacher movies. The movies were okay, but he was so far off the original material. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I still get mad at this performance. Vincent Chase as Pablo Escobar. Ben Affleck as Daredevil. The script was bad and that can take a lot of the blame. However, Affleck still moves around like his spine is fused, while trying to portray one of the more nimble characters in Marvel. Tug Speedman as Simple Jack. Denise Richards, the nuclear scientist in that James Bond movie. Gary Oldman as a dwarf in Tiptoes, also starring Peter Dinklage. Shia LaBeouf in Indiana Jones. I don't think they knew what they wanted to do, and he exemplifies that. Keanu Reeves as Jonathan Harker in Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula. The entire cast of 50 Shades of Grey. Mark Wahlberg in Transformers. The buff guy from Mass is an inventor in Texas. Mickey Rooney as Yunioshi in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Worst of all time, Topher Grace as Eddie Brock. Sean Connery as a Scotsman playing an Egyptian from Spain opposite Christopher Lambert as a French guy playing a Scotsman in Highlander. At least it had Mr. Krabs playing the Kurgan. Miles Teller as Mr. Fantastic. Cameron Diaz in Gangs of New York. What movie was far better than it had any right to be? The Lego Movie should have been total garbage, or at best, mediocre. The fact that it wasn't, and W is actually pretty brilliant, still stuns me. There is absolutely no reason that The Emperor New Groove should have been as much a comedy classic as it became. It was a troubled production that was original alignment to be something completely different, and the end result was basically them trying to salvage something from all the effort, starring a guy known mostly for bad, dumb, lowbrow junk. And the title is atrociously bad. It's unbelievable that it became one of the funniest films of the 21st century. Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's be honest, I think when everyone heard that Disney was making a movie based on a ride, most people thought it would suck. Tremors. It hits all the right note for a monster movie without any of the annoying tropes. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. The Mummy. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It was super funny and enjoyable. My husband and I saw it together on a whim, and we were both pleasantly surprised as it was so much better than we were expecting. On paper, it seems to be an attempt to milk two cash cows simultaneously, but everybody seems to have enjoyed the Lego Batman movie. The original Little Shop of Horrors has a Rotten Tomatoes rating of 92% even though the interiors were shot in 2 days and the film had a budget of about $30,000. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Megamind. For my daughter it was just a fun movie. For me? It's the bullied kid finally coming into his own. Letting all his anger melt away at how he was treated and letting people love him. Edge of Tomorrow. Live Die Repeat. Zombieland. I thought it looked so stupid and I'm really not a fan of zombie movies anyway, but my friends drugged me to see it one day and I loved it. Galaxy Quest. I would say Clue. It's based on a board game, so how good can it really be? Turns out it's possibly one of the funniest movies from the 80s. Dodgeball. Office Space.